buckle up, because this week of Beyond the Gates is not just dramatic, it's borderline explosive. And I'm not even exaggerating. We're heading into April 2024, 2026. And honestly, this might be one of those weeks that reshapes the entire power structure of the show. Let me break it down the way we should, not just what happens, but why it matters and what it could destroy next. The Plasma King storyline is spiraling out of control. Everything tied to Plasma King is getting darker and more dangerous. We've got Leah pulling strings again, and wow, she's not even pretending to be subtle anymore. She orders Ren to teach Jacob a lesson, and what do we get? Jacob ends up with bruised ribs. Not a warning, not intimidation, that's punishment. But then boom, Grayson gets stabbed. Let that sink in. And here's where I need to pause for a second, because this is where the writing gets really interesting. A lot of fans are asking, did Leah actually order the stabbing? I'm going to be honest with you, I think yes, and not impulsively either. This felt calculated. Why would Leah go that far? I see two very clear motives. First, Jacob breaking protocol by changing the delivery location. That's not just a mistake in this world, that's a threat to the entire operation. Second, Grayson's relationship with Ashley. Let's not pretend that Leah hasn't been watching that situation closely. Emotional attachments are liabilities in her world. And Grayson, he didn't cut it off. So what happens? He becomes an example. And Ren confirming to Jacob that he was the one who stabbed Grayson, that's psychological warfare. That's not just violence, that's control. And Jacob's reaction? Fear. Pure fear. Which brings me to my prediction. Jacob is going to distance himself from Grayson completely. He will start making deals behind the scenes. And yes, I absolutely think he'll switch partners for future deliveries. Because once fear replaces loyalty, it's over. Grayson, dead man walking? Now let's talk about Grayson. Is he going to survive? I don't think this is just about physical survival. Even if he lives, and I think he will, his position is finished. This feels very similar to what happened back in the season 2 arc with Marcus. Remember? One mistake, one emotional distraction, and suddenly he went from trusted insider to expendable. Grayson is heading down that exact same path. And Ashley, she's about to be dragged into the fallout whether she likes it or not. Ashley's crossroads, love or ambition. Ashley is in a brutal position right now. She's hearing Leah's voice in her head telling her to cut ties with Grayson and focus on her career. And let's be real, Leah isn't wrong strategically, but emotionally, that's a different story. Here's my take, and I know this might be controversial. If Ashley stays with Grayson, she sinks with him. If she leaves him, she loses a part of herself. That's classic soap opera tragedy. No good options. And then Derek enters the picture with conflict. Yeah, that's not random. That's pressure. External pressure designed to force Ashley into making a decision she's not ready for. And when characters make rushed decisions in this show, they regret them. Every time. Chelsea and Danny, what's really behind that offer? Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Chelsea gets an offer from Danny, and she turns it down. At first glance, that feels surprising. But when you really think about it, it makes perfect sense. Because Danny's offers are never simple. Is this about the Madison case? Maybe. But I think there's something deeper here, something strategic. Chelsea is learning. She's starting to see that aligning with Danny comes with strings attached. And I respect her for saying no. But here's the twist. Saying no to Danny doesn't end the conversation. It starts a new kind of conflict. Donnie is not someone who just walks away. She recalculates Danny, Bill, and Haley. The emotional mess we can't ignore. I mean, this is messy in the best way. Bill complaining about Andre's attitude, that's surface level drama. The real story is what happens when he and Danny start reminiscing, because nostalgia in this show is never innocent. It reopens doors, and Haley sees it, she feels it, but instead of confronting the real issue, her insecurity, she deflects. She uses the baby nickname as an excuse to get upset and walk away. Let's be honest, Haley isn't mad about the nickname. She's scared of what it represents. History, connection, something she can't compete with. And if she keeps avoiding that truth, she's going to lose Bill. Nicole, Vanessa reconciliation or setup, their friendship healing, I love it. I really do. But I don't trust it. Not yet, because in Beyond the Gates, reconciliation often comes right before a major betrayal or revelation. Vanessa visiting Anita suddenly, that's not random. Nicole going to the casino to talk to Joey, that's definitely not random. So what's really going on? I see two possibilities. Nicole is trying to protect Vanessa by managing Joey, or Nicole is hiding something bigger involving Martin. And speaking of Martin's secret, the ticking time bomb, Martin confessing to Vernon that his past could destroy his future? Yeah, that's not a small secret. That's a career-ending, life-altering truth waiting to explode. And Joey knowing about it? That's terrifying. Because Joey doesn't just keep secrets. He weaponizes them. So here's my theory. Joey is waiting for the perfect moment to bring Martin down. Probably when Martin is at his highest point. That's how this show operates. Rise, then ruin. Tomas and Lynette, the clue that changes everything. Tomas discovering something about Lynette, this could be huge. Whether it's her phone or a confirmation of her disappearance, it's movement. Finally, and here's the fascinating part. This is good news for Bill, but bad news for Haley. Why? Because truth changes alliances. If Lynette's situation connects back to Bill in a positive way, his position strengthens. And Haley? She loses ground again. Ren's warning, Jacob is next. Let's circle back to Ren for a second. Him telling Jacob straight up that he stabbed Grayson, that's not just intimidation. That's a message. You break the rules, you get punished. And Jacob gets it. That's why I'm convinced his next move will be desperate and dangerous. Desperate characters make reckless choices, and reckless choices create chaos. The love triangle, Nicole, Carlton, and Kial, and finally, the emotional battlefield. Nicole and Carlton reconcile, great, right? Not so fast, because Kial isn't backing down. And honestly, I respect that. Too many characters in this show just step aside. Kial doesn't. This is turning into a full-blown triangle where Carlton represents stability, Kial represents passion, and Nicole, she's stuck in the middle, trying to have both clarity and excitement. Spoiler, she can't. And when this explodes, because it will, it's going to hurt everyone. Final thoughts this week changes everything. Let me say this clearly. This upcoming week isn't filler. It's not set up. It's a turning point. Grayson's fall, Jacob's fear, Leah's control tightening, Martin's secret looming, relationships cracking under pressure. Everything is converging. And the scariest part, we're just getting started. Because if there's one thing Beyond the Gates has taught us, it's this. Power never stays in one place. Secrets never stay buried. And no one is ever truly safe. So yeah, next week, it's going to be wild.